Welcome back to Factorio Space Age. My name is Nilaus, and we are back here with our semi-constructed ship that has the ingredients we need, but not sort of put into the right place. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be continuing. We are going to get to the Shattered Planet, I hope, and we are also going to be setting a ship out to sort of see how we collect the Promethium in better quantities than what we already have with the Heart of the Tempest. So we have this, the IoT Typhoon is being built here. It is a pretty massive ship. Just for context, it's 4 chunks wide, and it's going to be, I don't know, 10 chunks wide long. I am going to cut this out, I guess, because we do need to connect it further down. So I'm actually going to take this and... yeah, for now, no, I'm not. I'm just going to put it into my blueprint book here. Blah. There we go. Because I need this to actually continue to build further down as well. Because we're going to need a lot of that. Oh, I can't even build further down than this. Yet. Once it's built, we can build further down than this. But not for now. We need to just make sure that it's always requesting stuff up here. Alright. So, what are we going to do? The first thing we need to do is get our power plant up here. The power plant has to be placed in the middle because I want to build this thing, sort of squeeze it into this corner and then build another thing over here. And then we need to extend it. So, let's have a look at our... yeah, this one we got built last time. And that's not really what I wanted. Okay, let's kill this one for now. There. And that goes up to the spaceship here. And then I think I wanted to just... I want to get it in there. I want to have it like this and as close as possible. Like that. Okay. Now that's going to be a problem with these inbounds, so we need to do something different. I think we can do this as different things, and each of these will now be... oh, no, 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 no. God damn it, that was not really what I wanted. I am just deleting stuff. Oops. Oh, that's totally not what I want. I wonder what I deleted. Something valuable, I'm assuming. Something valuable. Alright, let's kill these. There. There. And there. Good. That's connected. Okay, so these are the ones that make sure that we can delete eggs if they go out. And I think we need to make it faster. That one and that one. And then you can get it here. And I think I also need a radar at this point, because we do need radars on here. So why would you need radars on a ship like this? That's kind of the age-old question. Well, the reason why I need radars here is because radars can transport signals. So if I do this, then I now have all the signals that are coming in and out of this is connected to the radar. That means I can access that down here if I want to, and then it just works. And I have this one, so let's fire up this. And let's get here. Okay, and then I will be making sure that we actually filter it before we do anything else. Stupid things, right? Like this. There. So now it goes out and it goes in. And all we need to do is we need 8 blocks here. That's 1, 2, 3, and 8. Good. So that is now fed in here. So now we have power and we can kill... not this part here. Great. Okay, let's see. So that is the first thing. I would like to have this as a complete unit, but I'm kind of blocked by that part, so that has to go for now. And also guess I'm kind of limited by this. There. That one is what we wanted. And I re-establish this, and I re-establish this. And that will now be squeezed in as much as possible. What? Pipe is in the way. This pipe is in the way. Ah, okay. Well. Okay, one out then. That's interesting. It's really interesting why that's in the way. Let me do this. Okay, so that gets built here. I'm kind of wondering if I'm doing something different here. These are all aligned, and there is... Oh, there's two difference here. But that, it didn't actually need to do that. I could actually make it ever so slightly closer, and I think I need that. I think I need to make it closer. Yeah. Like that. Great. And that's what I wanted. Here. Now it does kind of prevent me from doing it. Okay, so we have that one, and then I'm going to be building the same thing here. And then if I flip it, then there will be something that isn't working. Why? What is not working? This thing here is not working. Unfortunately. And the reason why it's not working is because this is outputting on the right hand side in direction of travel, and that's also the right hand side. So these two are both putting out on the same side. So this is on the right hand side, this is also on the right hand side, so I would need to have these two to compensate. There. That will be working. It's slightly different from side to side, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we have power, we have that organized, and we have some space in here where we can grab some stuff. The thing is, this is our asteroid belt, so we're gonna have to have the asteroid belt kind of looping around in a silly little way here. And I'm also gonna drag it this way. Like that. So it goes up, and then it goes down, across, and up, and down here. We don't need all that up front, so we can get this block here. And I don't know if this area here will work if I flip. It's kind of not gonna work because there will be some discrepancies on this here. Yeah. They'll also be turned the wrong way. That will be going upwards, and that will also be going upwards. This will go the other way. Okay, so that is actually looking pretty good. Yeah, so we need our side module, that module here, and I need to make it exactly the same place. So that will be, yeah. And then up here as well. Yes. And then figure out how this is gonna pair up. That one. This is going to be in here. Alright, so that works as well. Let's get this module built further down. This needs to be going a lot further down, because actually what we need to do now is this is going to be the storage. How big is the storage going to be? No freaking clue, but bigger than what this is now. I can take the outer one out. Here. Here. This ship will also take a long time to build once it's actually just constructed. Is this enough? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. What we do need to do up here is figure out how we're going to deal with this inbounds and outbounds. So first things first, I think that we are going to be getting this. So this is Promethium. This is also Promethium, and we can get like the Promethium out something like this, and then I can go inbound here. Guess that's an option, and then I can basically do the same thing for the other one, right? No, that doesn't. Does that make sense? Yeah, sure, it does make sense. Yeah, and let me see if that is... The only issue I have with this is that it's actually... it's taken too many of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So it's 3 versus 6. That's not a great distribution. So if I could sort of have 3 versus 6, that's it'd be like 4 versus 5 would be better. So if this one could be part of the other solution, that would be better. Well, I think we'll just do this one for now because they'll be balanced in here. So these are now going down here. I have to make sure that that is nowhere to be found. Oops. This is also... You have to go downwards. There we go. Right. So this now has to go into one of these modules. And in the middle, I'll have 4 lanes like this going back up, because that has to go from all the way down here at the bottom, where I don't know where that is, but somewhere. And I am guessing that I need... Yeah, this is built in the lower right hand corner, so I need to build it. Oof, this is gonna be tough. I don't know how far north I can build this. And like that. So there is a little bit of leeway. That's perfect. The one thing though is how far north can we build it. So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna do the same thing over on this side here. That one. Flip. And there's a little bit of turning around here. There. And this works. Kill that. We're gonna have to deal with that later on. Okay, and then... So, is there a point to having a bypass? Like on the old ship here, I have a bypass that sort of skips it so it doesn't have to go through this full storage. I don't actually think I want that, because I'm not gonna have a bypass. First it's gonna go out and then consume all of it, so I don't really need a bypass. I don't need to, and so I can just go, you are gonna go in here, and you're gonna go in here, which means I can move it a little bit up. The one thing though is, well, it is balanced when it comes in. So 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so let's get this out. There, that's the furthest up it can be made. Then I am going to take this part here, which will be the repeatable part. Oops, I need to kill it. That one. No, that's the end part, and this is the repeatable part. There, this part is repeatable, and then I just repeat it. How big do I want it? Wow, I have no idea. Big. Bigger than this. Bigger than what I've made room for now. Okay, let me see how many modules there are here. 32 modules. I want over 40 modules, so we're gonna have to extend it. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. And then as we build all of this giant module here, I just flip it and position it here. Now this might take a while to build. It might take a little bit of time to get all this done. And we also need to extend it down here. And that means now at this point, this is the final. All I need to do for this is actually get you up into there. And then figure out if that's looking really nice. And this one. There. Okay, so what I need now is this corner. Nope, not like that. There, no. Here, and here. That might actually not be so bad in terms of alignment. There. And then we have the engine modules that we took away. This here, I don't think I can build it any closer than this. This is the closest I can make it. Otherwise it gets into trouble. There. Okay. And like this. Over here, this is going to be the belt. That one. Uh-huh. That way. And then we still have the other belt, but I can lead it underneath here. I can probably be going from here to here. Yes, perfect. And then the only thing missing is this ice that we're getting out, which I don't know. I couldn't really figure out how to do it in another way. Maybe I could actually just get it here, go jump that one, but can I jump all of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6. That's actually exactly the amount of space I can jump. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do that. So I would have to do this, and then take these two, move it over, and then that would be an outbound, like so. Going in here, leaving over all of that, which I still think it's possible, and then going out. That's a little bit nicer. Nice. Let's do that. Okay, so the ship might actually be almost ready to go. I think, well, obviously we don't have a lot of rockets. We got a little bit of rockets going out here. This one is getting the odd carbonic, and then it has added a few rockets out here. What we've also done is brought this green line all the way across, so they actually are enabled. We have done a few things down here. I've now set up a velocity, a speed control. This one is basically getting a signal in on the red wire that basically says, should the thrusters be active? Yes, no. So right now it says yes. The way it works is that I'm saying, this one is basically saying, is it not going anywhere near the shadow planet, either towards or away from the shadow planet? If that's the case, then we should have a maximum... Hold on. That's the other way around. Good thing. There. This one should max, because this is the max speed. So basically what it says is, if it is either when it's either going towards or away from the shadow planet, then it is should use the max value here. That's the 3. And then it'll basically say, is the velocity currently less than the maximum value, maximum speed? Then if that's the case, then enable the thrusters. If it is above or equal to, then disable the thrusters. That should sort of give some kind of thrust control. That's the thrust control. These ones are going to be recycling, but only when it's more than 800 of each on the belt. Over here, we have the same thing. We'll have 2 of these because, well, I think we need it. They might actually want beacons, but let's just see if we can do that without beacons. Here, this is the normal one where we just say how many we want, and I've just set to 1,000 each. The one thing that's different for this belt than any other... Oh, look at that. Oh, here's a problem. Haha. So this belt has this yellow line across, and that yellow line across goes all the way up, and it should also be here, but it's not though. So somehow we've lost that connection here somewhere. So somehow this line is broken and no longer has... Yeah, okay, we can also see that there's something going on here. Yeah, there we go. There's a problem here. There we go. Okay, and that also now means that it is connected. So now it is connected as a single belt. And we can see that things are coming in on one side. But that's why we are over here actually making it over and rotating it. So there's also a rotational problem on the other side. We can see that. There must be like a copy-paste issue somewhere as well. We'll just find that. Here. There we go. And then this one is connected. If I add more than one of these rebalancers, then I also have a little bit more difficult time to make sure that this belt is connected, because each of the splitters break up this mounted entire belt. The one thing though that I would like to monitor as well, and that will also have to go into a... Yep. And let's see, where does that have to go? I don't know. It could go up here. It could. Or it could go somewhere else. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to monitor these belts here. That one and that one. And each of these will be full belt. And then it's gonna go here. And haha. See, that connects all of that and back all the way up here. But then I need to connect these other two here. And I can do that by that one and that one, I guess. Yes. Okay, so that's the whole design here. And then we have to jump over to the next one, which will be over. Ah, it's too far away, damn it. We'll just do that one. And then here. That's also connecting that. And then it goes into here and here. Connect, connect. Good. So now we have all the stuff connected up here. Then I want to get through this middle part here. Not sure I can, but I can link that up here. I'm going to take these. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So this part in here will not be monitored, and that's okay, because there could... No, this bounce doesn't block anything. Oh, that's actually not the case. And that will go over to here, here, and here. There. Perfect. I think. There. Now that should monitor all of the belts that have any kind of promethium on them. Great. And that needs to be summarized and get brought back into this area, so we can actually just jump in there. So now that means I can actually monitor how much I have in circuits, and that means that's going to be our disengage connection or disengage command here. All right, so we now have pretty much all we want, and we are not safe. So what we want to do is actually just fly out, and oh yeah, this is also a little interesting issue here. We need this part to actually work. You are not getting any water. You are not... Oh, I think I know why. There we go. All right, that's good. So that will be getting us just a little bit of thrust out here. And that's also going to be going out. And here, there. So all that ice is actually useful right now, but whatever. We'll burn through it. Right, so this giant ship, I think we're ready to get it started. And what we're going to do is obviously not go out to everything. Do we have... We have a little bit of repair packs. Unfortunately, good repair packs are not better. We'll leave all of this in here just in case. Not that. And we're not receiving any construction materials, so that's fine. These ones I can definitely send out. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to say, what is the condition for leaving Novice just in general? The condition would be like, I don't have any promethium science and I don't have any chunks. So when that's the case, then you're allowed to leave, and you wait a little bit, and so that should be the condition for leaving. It should also be allowed to unload, otherwise there's a problem. We will also have an input here where we are bringing in Biorex, but that's a little bit beyond where we are now. So here I'm going to go out and then say, what is the condition for going back? That is either we take damage, no, or we have some of that. No, we're just going to go there. So add fly condition. So just keep flying. Don't know. Damage taken. Sure. If we take 10,000 damage, I don't think that should happen. That shouldn't happen. What we should be doing now is just casually flying. Or I don't know. Fly casual. There you go. We're just going to be casually flying out. Except we're not really going to be flying out. Why not? This one is saying that's bigger than 0. Are you not getting that? Disabled by control behavior. Oh, that's the wrong way. There. And also enabled on the other side. Okay, the ship is moving. How fast is it moving? So the thing is, we really needed to actually just... All the stuff that's up front is just going to be wasted. The only thing we're going to pick up is actually this teeny tiny amount that comes down the side. It is really not a lot. But it will be something, and we just need to fly back and forth a little bit so that we collect stuff, so that we have at least the thruster going. It's also interesting how it is flickering because it has a little bit more of one and a little bit less of the other one. Yeah, so we need it to keep flowing, and that might be taking a little bit of back and forth here. So we're now quietly flying out. We're flying out to Aquillo just to stock up on the quantum processors. We don't really need it, but let's just go out here and get the quantum processors. It's also like a location where we can get a lot of additional stuff. You can see the amount of railgun ammo is not very much. It's coming in. The reason why it's not very much is because all of this here is getting all of the when a carbonic asteroid chunk moves here, it has to go past that one, that one, that one, and that one before it even gets the chance to go into the railgun ammo. So we are prioritizing heavily all this first. But if we really think about it, when we get out there, we will be way oversaturated on all of this. So it's not really going to be a problem. Also, these are completely idle for the time being because they're waiting for the carbonic to go through. So right now it's just really focused on the carbonic resources that are coming in. And eventually, if we look at the recycler down here, these recyclers, they are, or actually let's look at like that. We can see that the items here, the carbonic asteroids, they're the ones that are in short supply. We got plenty of metallic and plenty of oxide, and they will be getting up to 800, and then they will start recirculating them pretty quickly. Pretty soon we'll be recirculating these and hopefully getting more. We're also seeing that the belt here of explosive rockets is kind of filling up, so that's also nice. And where are we? We stopped at Aquillo. We're still waiting for more stuff to come in. We got we got most of it, so we'll just get the rest of it now. And we are, I guess we're not really getting a lot while we're just hanging out here. It is time for the big journey. What I've done now is I've also made it some visual indicators of how much we have on the belts. If we have more than 10,000, then it's green, and the same here with more than 10,000. We do not have more than 10,000, but we're starting to get some. We can see that they stack up here. They're going to be super happy. Are they? Is it actually moving? No, it's there. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go to the shattered planet. We are just going to go all the way out and see how it goes. So right now we are not having enough of the railgun ammo to be safe, but I feel that we are now producing it at a good rate. That means we should actually be fine in with what is coming. Let me just check something. This actually needs 2 of these. Yeah. So, and you're gonna do the same here. There we go. Otherwise, it's not letting in enough if this one is fully producing. Great. So we are now seeing that we are now producing a lot more of this. Great. It's coming in, filling up to 20% at least. And we're now going out and we'll just have a look at each of the different parts. So right now we're just heading out into Aquillo. We've been to Aquillo before. After we go to Aquillo, then we're going to get into the part where we get the big chunks. Shoot, what the hell is that? So the reason why this happened, that we got struck here, maybe it was something that got too close and then it was a rocket shooting, or maybe it was something colliding. The reason why it was actually flying too fast, this ship is designed for the shattered planet area, and therefore it's when we were here in the inner planets, we're not really shooting a lot of rockets, and we're not shooting the railguns at all. So the only thing that we have is lasers. And as we get further out, we are probably going to be seeing more things being shot by rockets and less stuff being shot by lasers. You can see the lasers are very active right now. We're still just healing up the last bit here. Now we saw the first railgun shot was fired. Let's have a look as we progress out here, and now we get a little bit of railgun shots out here. We've set the speed down from unlimited in the inner planets, or before going out, and then set it up to 200. We set it to 300 in speed here. So I've set the speed in here, 300 for the inner planets, and then, or not the inner planets, for within the planets, and then 250 when we go out to this area. I think that's going to be fine. We might actually set it down a little bit. You can see the speed here hovers around it, so when it's just below, it'll sort of hover plus minus 10 of that. And we are then just gonna go out here. Let's see how we get when we get to the other side of the solar system edge. We have now crossed the boundaries towards the shattered planet, and we should start seeing the very first bits of Promethium out here. However, we should also look at production stats. So let's look at the production stats here and there. So those are the consumption stats. We can see that they have been consuming here. We also want to look at production stats. There we go. And the production stats have sort of tapered off because now that's... Oh, I love the fact that the orange here is blue here and the blue here is orange there. Yay! Alright, well, you're gonna have to deal with that. So the production can be really high for railgun and for explosive rockets, but it's not really. So we haven't been using much in terms of railguns. We are getting the very first bits of railgun shots. Let's have a look at like this. We're getting the first Promethium chunks. Yay, let's kill those. And we should see that Promethium chunks makes the rockets fire a lot faster because we're also shooting at the medium ones with the rockets, and then you see a lot of things exploding. So what we're seeing now is basically what we've discovered for the other planet is, or the other system is that, or the other ship, is that the more Promethium we have, the more the rockets will do the heavy lifting, and then the less will actually go through, and you can see the lasers are not really active very much, and they'll just keep picking up a little bit of scraps here and there. As soon as there are, and the only time they get active is when there's actually, oh, that disappeared quickly, when there's actually no Promethium chunks nearby. We can also see that we are picking up plenty of stuff here. We're actually completely saturated on everything. And I think this is a good density on the belt. You can see that it's a little bit sort of stacking on one side more than the other side. That's perfectly fine. And do we get some? Yes, we get the very first little bit of Promethium coming in, and that little Promethium will just go through all of this, and hopefully I've turned everything correctly so it actually works. It's going to be fun, so it's going to be interesting to see if they will ever get up here and just start piling up, because of course they are not going to be building anything because there's no biter eggs coming in. There. And back up here we can now see, okay, now we're getting a little bit more Promethium here. We should start seeing rockets. Yes, we are seeing rockets are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Great. And the speed though is now set to 250. And let's do some very disappointing math here. Then if we look up in our calculator, there's 4 million kilometers. I fly at 250 kilometers per second. And I fly for 60 seconds and 60 minutes. How much is that? 4.4 hours or 4.5 hours. Ugh. And if you were flying at 300, then it would be less than 3 hours. So the question is, can we set up this one to fly at set the maximum speed here at 300? Or is that too dangerous? I mean, there's only one way to find out, and it's better for me to find out than for you. So we're going to be speeding up to 300 kilometers per second out here, and then seeing if there should be any kind of worry. Of course, later on we'll be a lot more busy, but I think that the main part is the response time, and then the time it takes to fly, for the rockets to fly out here and destroy everything. And they'll think it looks fine, so we're going to be continuing with speed 300, and then we'll see. We will only get into trouble when our consumption rate is more than 250. Oh, look at that. That's not working. There we go. Alright. Well, that was a good thing we noticed that. Our consumption rate is more than 220 rockets per second, because that's what we're producing. And that's kind of also... Let's see. If we look at this, if we look at the production stats here, then we're looking at 120 explosive rockets per second and 49 railguns per second. That is quite ridiculous. Of course, this one is a lot, but that will only happen when we get back, and we have plenty of that. We can also see, oops, just need the cursor out here. I have built this storage where we can see how much we actually have stored. It's only just displayed as these little things here. This blueprint is also available in my blueprint book. It is under Novice. It is... Oh, there we go. No. That one. Display quantity. That one. And I just made a little bit of addition so it can count up to 4 digits. And it displays what it is actually displaying here. So we've collected an impressive 5,000 chunks already. And for now, we'll just check in once in a while as we get to certain milestones along the way. If we look at the path here, that one, this path, you can see that it really gets up here around 1.5 million kilometers. That's when we get like really steep curve of huge promethium chunks. So we'll take a little break here and then just let the ship fly out casually. We're now jumping back in, and we're now 800,000 kilometers out. Pretty much 800,000 kilometers out. And if we look at the disappointing fact, we're now down to 40 frames per second, updates per second. That means it's not going to take 4 hours, it's going to take 5 hours and a bit, and it's just going to keep going up. So what can we learn? Well, first of all, we have filled up our storage. Our storage in this one is 371,000. I would have liked it to be 400,000, but yeah, then I should just have added a bit more down here. But that is what it is. I'm happy with 371. What we're doing here, we can see that they're doing great. We're still flying at 300 kilometers per second out here, and we are no longer picking anything up. We're just having the stock on storage. If we want to see just a baseline of consumption stats, then those are the most important ones. These ones here. If we look at from a 10-minute perspective, we can see it's consuming 2.8 per minute, and it is consuming 800 per minute. And the maximum is 7,000 per minute, and the maximum it can do is 3,000 per minute. So we have to keep those baselines intact. So that is 800,000 kilometers out. Let's see how if we can continue to keep up with this. We're actually having a little bit of a crisis here, which is very interesting. We're running out of ammo here, and that shouldn't happen. So we are actually in dire straits. I've done a little bit of change. There was a problem with this balancer, so we actually had things stuck, and now it's flowing much better. The other part is here. Is this set to 2? Yes, it is. Okay, so now we should be producing more. I've also set down here. I have set up so that we now have 1,200 of each, because we can easily handle this. There's room for 10,000 on this belt, but so we are only putting 3,600 now. So it's not going to be overflowing this belt, but I want to make sure that there's a denser, it's more dense here. We can also see that now we've, just by doing that, we've actually recovered, and we now set the speed down to 250. That also helps a lot so that they recover. So at this point we can look at the production stats, and there was a production stat boost right here when I did the changes, and we can see that the consumption rate was is dipping because we slowed down with speed. And if we look at this, and you can also see that it was actually flatlining here, because that was as much as we could get in, because that was the rate that we were going. And the reason why was because it was the one belt here was stuck, and because the inner belt was stuck, these could no longer output, and when they couldn't output, they couldn't produce anything, because they were sort of stuck with like residuals outputting here. And then that means the whole half side here wasn't working, and it was only the other side here that was working. So yeah, quite severe. That's why I leave it a little bit and then come back an hour later and see that the ship is still there, but it was actually almost failing. So really interesting, very important thing. Make sure that the balancer is working here, so that you actually are balancing on both sides correctly. And we're also updates are pretty miserable. What we'll also do is we will take this ship. This is our the old ship. Look how teeny tiny the storage is. We're going to take this, and when it comes back, it's almost back, we're going to be unloading everything, and then we'll be converting it to another copy of this ship here. Yep, we're more than halfway out there. This is 2.8 kilometers towards the shattered planet, and we can see that things are pretty dense. Also, updates are pretty scarce, and here we're seeing that 2.8, and we're actually flying at 300 kilometers per second now, so we decided to speed up a little bit. It will need to slow down when we get a little bit closer. If we look at the stats here, you can see that it is gradually improving. We had our issue, and it has now improved. It also, when it takes this, it's only running at half speed, the game, so that means it's not going to take 4 hours, it's going to take 8 hours. So happy. There we go. So now you know why this video didn't come out yesterday or the day before. And so we're now up to the consumption of 5.5k, and the maximum we can produce is 7k. Here we're consuming about 1k, and we can produce 3k. So it's getting there, it's getting higher, and if it goes up towards the 7K, then we can always just slow down the speed a little bit. And what we have as well is I have been spending the time while sort of idling just to build the new ship here. And this, of course, is a copy of the existing one. It's exactly like it. It is it doesn't have the flaws of the previous version, so we have learned a little bit. You can also see we get the frames back again, a little bit back again when we're not looking at the ship. So this ship here will be going out for some joyriding. If we look at the actual stats here, this one, how much it actually has, yeah, it doesn't really have anything. It has a little bit of carbonic chunks, a little bit of this, and we of course need it to slowly fill up a little bit of fuel. And once it has filled up fuel, then we'll just have it go back and forth between the inner planets until it's sort of saturated on this inner belt. And then we can send it out, but not quite yet, but soon. We are now 500,000 kilometers away from the shattered planet, and we are seeing issues. So things are going out here, and what we have is we're still flying at 300, which is completely reckless at this point. So we are going to be setting this down to 200. If we'd been flying at 500, 250 all the time, it would have been fine. But right now we're actually kind of not really getting it. So what I do is I slow down the speed of the ship, and if by slowing down the speed, I'll also slow down how fast these are coming in, and by that metric also how fast they're shooting, and therefore I will have time for the production to catch up. You can see how easily it actually catches up. So as soon as I slow down just a little bit, it easily catches up. So if once we have these ones also saturated, there they go, and they are now saturated as well. So once they're saturated, we can go back up to 250. We can also just look at this stat here. This is corresponding, this line here corresponds to a half a full belt all around the ship of rockets. And we don't have that. That could be up to 10,000, but we currently have about 40% of that. There we go. Now we go up to 50%. So we are sort of building that up, that reserve, and that's what we need. But I think we can also go up to 250 there. What do we also see? So this ship is doing great. It's progressing, and it's still, with this slowness here, it's still going to take quite a bit of time for getting us the rest of the way. The other ship, though, the Heart of the Tempest, is now refurbished. It has full storage everywhere, and it's really good. So this one can actually also be ready to go out. I can just flip this one off, and then it's heading out. Important to bring 500 fusion cells. That's what we need to go all the way out and back again. And so if you bring 200, it's probably a little bit too low. If you bring 100, it is not enough. So 500 is the right number to bring out for a journey to the Shattered Planet and back again. So let's see when we get closer to the final milestone and see what happens when we get to the Shattered Planet. Ooh, it's exciting, isn't it? Now we're really approaching the final milestone, and our updates are completely tanking. We're flying still at 250. We just increased it from 200 to 250, and things seem to be holding up. If we look at production stats, then this was down when we set it down to 200, and then we go up. We go up here again. We should be seeing this one go up, but we are fine on the production. See, this one is saturated. This one's also saturated or partially saturated, and these two are working. So it's looking really good. Everything is under control. Over on this side, this is the new one. You can see how scarce it is out here. This one is going out and just farming. What I've set it up, the other one, the measure here, this one should be 185,000. Because that's half of the 371,000 we can do. So basically it flies out until it reaches this part. And then once that's that, it turns around and heads back, because then it'll get the second half of the storage on the way back. And then it'll just actually spend the minimum amount of time out there. These ones, though, should be when it is less than 50, because that's kind of what it needs to be. And this one should be when it's less than 2,000. Because when it's less than 2,000, that's less than a stack, a rocket stack going out. So that's when we can send it out again. Good, and we are now here, very close. So let's see when we get to the final milestone here. 98, 99, 3,999,000 kilometers, and it's gonna take over soon. So what we should see is that also when we get to the Shattered, stop at the Shattered Planet. We reached the Shattered Planet. No achievement, no nothing. no hidden things, no... Yeah, this is the kind of disappointing, but you know, we would all know that by now if there was something here, because people have been going there a lot, a lot before we did. But it still kind of feels a little bit anticlimactic just to get there and then, oh, well, that's it then. And then it stops here, and they will also just stop spawning eventually. As we stop moving forward, then it'll stop spawning up here. Then we'll have to do some kind of metric here that says, okay, you keep flying until this condition is fulfilled, and once that condition is fulfilled, then we start heading home. So heading home, we go back to the solar system edge, we go to Aquillo, pick up, so that we have not that, but actually 22,000, because that should be the amount we need. If we have, the way we calculate it is that we say 371,000 of that, and each of those require 25. So that's 14,000. Okay, so we need 15,000 brought in here. Maybe we'll get 22,000, whatever. So we'll get 15,000 in, and how much should have got? We got 10,000. Good. So we'll get that on the way back, and then when we come back, we're going to be adding something. But that will be something we'll build for the other ship, though. This ship, because this will come back before. If we look at it, it's already up to 156,000, and then it will turn back by itself. This ship, though, I'm just going to let it just fill up the internal buffers, get into an idle position, and then we're going to be heading home here. You can also set this automatic if you just basically set this condition to, I think that would be correct. You set it to conditions as that one. And that's 6 because it's both in the green and the red wire it comes in. So that's when it is less than 6, you continue, right? Or, no, you stay until equal. There we go. And then it starts going back. There we go. We went to the shadow planet. Now we just have to go back again. But we'll spend the time going back to also look at this one, which will be setting up sort of a more robust, more continuous way. And ideally, when this the IoT Typhoon comes back, there will be 2 of these going out and back again. So we want to see how this works when it is in automatic mode. So now I have the Heart of the Tempest coming back. It is full of quantum processors. It's full of Promethium chunks, but it is not getting any biters in here. So what is it we actually want to do? First things first, I want to do, let's see, I am going to say this one is going in here. These are ready, they just need some biter eggs. So we also have this one saying this is only conditioned when it is on Novice. When it's off Novice, you delete all of the eggs as fast as possible. And we have the conditions here. So what we can need to do, or what we simply need to do, very, very simple, is just request the 15,000 biters that are ready. So we will request these, and you can see they are coming in. So they'll be going up here. What does this mean? Well, as soon as they get up here, now we just continuously request 15,000 biters up here. And that will, the question is then, can we consume 15,000 biters faster than we can produce them on Novice? I think we can produce them a little bit faster than we can consume them, but we are consuming at a absolutely ridiculous pace. While these are flying up here, we can just have a look at the Eye of the Typhoon coming back here, flying back at 300 kilometers, no, 250. It's hovering around 250, and then we just reach 1 million kilometers back again. Things are looking great. We're just kind of speeding along. We're trying to, we'll fly with 250, and then we'll bump it up to 300 at some point. That seems reasonable. Here, we should be seeing the biters coming in, and then hopefully we'll see. Yeah, there we go. Perfect timing. That's 15,000 biters. All right, what's happening? And they start working. So now we start having a reckless production speed of where you're here. So this one should be, if we just look at a 10-minute cycle, yeah, we'll be seeing this one produce pretty damn quickly now. There, very nice spike. And they will now send them back to Novice, and on Novice, we're currently just requesting 200,000. Well, that's gonna be handy. And if I just switch it over to something that actually needs it, then we'll be seeing that this will, first it'll start dipping, but then they will start getting stuff in here. There we go. And this should be more than enough to handle it. If we look at the production speed up here, each of these can produce, if it was working all the time, it could produce at 500 per second between the 2 of them. It's of course not going to be able to pick up this fast, but it's it's not that far off. But if we look at it, let's look at it like this. There we go. That is 11,000 per minute. That's... and 11,000 per minute divided by 60. So 180 per second. That's not impressive, actually. It's not impressive. That's not what we want more. We want more. Why is it? That's... okay, well, I guess we need 2 of these ships then. Yeah, well, this is why we have 2 of those ships. We'll actually need 3 of those ships, so 2 of them are always producing to catch up. Of course, there's also going to be a lot of science that isn't really going to be focused on this part, but eventually we will need to get it. So we'll need more ships, but that's lucky. There are actually in the Expanse universe, there are 3 ships: the Heart of the Tempest, the Eye of the Typhoon, and the Voice of the Whirlwind. I think that's the 3rd one. Cool. All right. So this is working, and we see that the next biters, they are sort of building into the rockets. You see the 8,500, and up here we are now still have 9,000. So you can see that it builds up biters faster than up here, but it is stable. So let's fast forward until the ship is ready to depart and see if that works. We are now almost running out of Promethium on the ship. As we can see here, we are starting to just drain the last. What's also interesting for me is this side balancer here is actually doing exactly its job, because each of these lines are pretty much ending at the same time, which I think is amazing, because there's a lot of variables here with this much bell stored. But the fact that this is keeping it pretty much consistent here until the very end. Look how crisp it is, and then it goes in. So now it's done. Now what? Well, there's 16 here, and there's 3 here. I'm not going to do anything. There's also some biters here. 20 plus 20. So that's 40 biters in here. I put some laser turrets around. So what's going to happen when 40 biters spawn? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And in here, we are now not getting the rest of it. But if I'm just leaving it be, not doing anything at all, then we will be getting the biter eggs. We'll be coming up here. Once that is satisfied, which is fulfilling the satisfaction here, then we will depart. And as we depart, we'll start throwing away the biters, and then we'll see what happens. Those are coming in, the final pieces of the puzzle, and this should get us... come on, work. There we go. And it has now departed. What happens when it departs? These are going out here, and they are deleting as fast as they can. I mean, it looks like it's fast, but it's really not that fast. You can see these are just swinging back and forth. And we are now, let's have a look at this, if we can see how much is being deleted. Let's see, here we go. That will be deleting at 2.8k per minute. So that means, let's say 3k. That means if I have 15, then it's going to take 5 minutes to delete it. So that's not a problem at all. This one will go out. The only thing we're a little bit, well, I'm a little bit interested about is what's going to happen when these 20 hatch and these 20 hatch. That's 40 that hatch right here, very close to that location. Will they be able to be killed fast enough, or will they actually kill our space platform? I have to know. There is a way to avoid this, and that is by sort of having these ones change recipe. You can have something automatic that says, oh, if the amount of Promethium is less than something and you are not on Novice, then change the recipe. And if you change the recipe, the biters will jump back in here, and then will be part of this construction. But it means that I have to just wait and see until these ones hatch. This should be around another 20 minutes of waiting. Well, that's nothing compared to all the other waiting we've had today. It is time to check in on Heart of the Swarm, and we have our biters. They are spawning in 20 something seconds, plus whatever that takes. We can see that we're already getting new Promethium out. We are a good distance out towards the shattered field, and we can see that they go here. They go green, and then blue, and then red, and then green across this, until it gets all the way down and come back up here. So we now have this one, 40 spawning in 10 seconds. And with the lasers we have here, I don't think it should be a problem, because these lasers are pretty damn good. But you know, there's still like 40 biters spawning right on top of it. So let's just see how that goes. If it gets If it destroys our ship, then we'll have to do some changes. If it doesn't destroy our ship, then we're going to be fine with this. And yeah, they'll probably take a bite out of something, and then we'll see if we lose something or if it's just repair things. Okay, there we go. That's weird. That doesn't seem like 20 biters, 40 biters. I guess they just spawned right on top of each other and they got killed so instantly. Okay, well that was not a problem. Good thing I waited 40 minutes for that. Alright, so the only thing that's actually remaining is now to see that this ship is coming home safely. There's nothing really threatening out here. We're running at 300 kilometers per second and we're now just strolling home here with this one. Okay, so we are here and you can see 300. Oh, there we go. It just crossed over. Now we're no longer in the shattered field. We are now in between the edge of the solar system and the Aquillo system. So we're coming home safely. What we'll do at this point, we will be going in here and getting those 20,000 that we so love. 20,000 in here, that will correspond to 400,000, and we're coming back with 371,000. So that should be perfect. And we should be just getting this one back, and then we'll be coming back to here, and then these two, the Heart of the Swarm, the Typhoon, will be part of just a rotation. We'll never go out to the Shattered Planet again, because we want our updates back. We're still not able to get back to 6060, unfortunately, but that's probably because of these giant ships. They are a little bit overwhelming, I think. But it seems like we have survived our journey to the Shattered Planet. And of course, if you want a copy of the ship, then I am going to be copying this ship here, because this is the one that goes on a rotation in and out. And then we'll see. Yeah, you can grab those. They are available for patron supporters, together with the building blocks that we used in the previous episode for building this, so that you can build a bigger one, a smaller one, a different one, or just make your own improvements to it. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back in the next episode. First, we'll just have to figure out what should be the next target. We still have a lot of things that we need to do, like a lot of things that are sort of hacked together, but this was one of the big challenges of just going to the Shattered Planet and back again safely. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.